Hey, it's Audeyah. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be trying out some beauty tools, we're going to be trying out some makeup, and we're going to be trying out some skincare. I hauled the majority of these all throughout the year. I've just never been able to introduce them to my channel, so that's exactly why we're here today. So let's get right into today's video. 1, 2, 3, let's go! To share with you what my nails look like for this season, I decided to go for a cobweb inspired nail. Very first thing that we're going to start off with today is skincare. If you are familiar with the brand Clinique, you know that this is one of their top selling skincare products. So we're trying it out today to see if it becomes a staple in my routine. So since I bought these from Target when I did my haul, I haven't opened them, so we're going to open them today and try out this clarifying lotion twice a day exfoliator from Clinique, which I did get this as a part of their promotion when they had gift with purchase. So I'm just using this basically to remove dead skin. Like around my nose has a bit more buildup than I could possibly think of right now, and I'm gonna go between my brows. You know, hopefully this kind of helps with removing any dead skin that happens, because I've been doing my best to stick to a regimen where I do not squeeze my face. And as you can see along my jawline area, I am still dealing with my hyperpigmentation, but I've been trying out some products that, you know, I've been loving. So I mean, let's hope that with continued use I can see the significant reduction. So next thing that I'm gonna do is try a sample size of the Advanced Night Repair, which is pretty much just a super hydrating serum for the skin. I remember at first when I heard of this product, I thought it was to be exclusively used at night. Nighttime is a good time to use this, but it's not the only time that you're subject to using it. So I'm just gonna see. I mean, I don't really know how much to use of this, but I'm just gonna do it to where my face feels thoroughly hydrated. And today we're just really working off of vibes because I no longer have a mirror behind of my phone. So yeah, in the process of making my space tidy, because I was going through it, okay, like my space was looking really crazy, I dropped it and it broke. As far as texture goes, it's just really silky feeling. It doesn't feel super hydrating on my face. I'm only aware of it when I touch it, so that's good. It's not too heavy. This is not necessarily a super new product. I've actually been religiously using this one. This is the Clinique All About Eyes. Around my eye area is not super dry. I do have combination oily skin or oily combination skin, but I don't get dry in that particular area of my face. And because, like I said, Clinique had their gift for purchase recently, I was able to cop a smaller size of this, because the one that I had during the summer, I definitely already went through that. Like, let's be honest, I use it a lot. And then I ended up having to buy a whole new one because I ended up leaving it open and it dried out. So don't do that. One day I'll do a product empties video, and whatever it is that I've emptied, I'll update you guys on it, because I've been watching videos and getting so many ideas as to the content that I could do, because in my mind it was like, you know, just focus on things that are super viral or whatever. But as you guys would be able to tell from these videos, I got them and they just kind of sat in their original shopping bag. So now that I'm finished with the moisturizer, the next thing that I want to do to my skin is put on sunscreen. I have two products here from Lancôme. One is the Rénergie Multi-Action Ultra Sunscreen. This is supposed to help with lifting, firming, and dark spot correction. And I also have the Aquagel Defense 50 Plus Sunscreen. So this one is meant to be a broad spectrum SPF 50 moisturizer and primer, and it also has vitamin E in it. So I'm honestly going to try to mix the two of these, and I'm going to open up another product. I need to see if this leaves a cast on my face, because I can't be walking around the house looking crazy. Seeing my skin for the first time, it actually does kind of have like, you know, a nice and healthy glow, which I can fully stand behind and support. What I'm not liking is my lips. I'm going to go into this gloss from NYX, which is called This Is Juice Gloss, and this one is in the Kiwi Kick, which is supposed to be kiwi scented. This is the only one that of the ones that I reviewed a few months ago that I have not used a lot of, not for any particular reason, but I decided to just pull it out today because since that video I haven't used it as much as I've used the coconut scented one as well as the watermelon scented one. Going into the sunscreen options, this one is the Rénergie, which is their purple line. We're just going to see exactly how my skin likes this, if I like it at all, because I really don't know. This one I got from a Lancôme gift with purchase, so going on, it already has a bit of a tint, but that's why I started off with a small amount, because if I learned anything from using the Clinique sunscreen, a little bit goes a long way when you do have darker skin with these. It's better to build it up as opposed to just putting all of the sunscreen that you will need all at once on your face. It's not going to end well for you, and it is going to leave a cast. It doesn't have a super powerful fragrance. It has something very mild. This is the Aquagel Defense 50 sunscreen. Because it's a moisturizer and a primer, I really like that, so I do see myself grabbing this one more often. But let's see if it's going to give me a cast. This one is a little bit more liquid compared to the other one. Does have a similar tint, but I think that's probably just the color of the product. And this one smells straight up like lotion. Maybe it's the layering of the sunscreens, but I am seeing a bit of a tint to this one, so I would definitely use a lot less of this. My skin is definitely gray. Moving that one to the side. So starting off with primer, I'm going to be using two of them because one, if I'm not mistaken, I did haul this during the Sephora sale earlier this year, and then the other one I just wanted to use it because why not. This one that I'm going to be using mainly in my T-zone area, this is a Smashbox Photo Finish Control Mattifying Primer, and this one I've definitely used before. It has a sort of liquidy but at the same time silicone-y kind of feel to it. So I'm just using this mainly in the areas that I get oily. It definitely does act as a good silky sort of texture for the makeup. And I really love this primer, especially over like pimples and stuff. Because sometimes pimples will just leave your face looking a little shiny depending on where it is. Now I'm going to move on to the other primer, which is the Lancôme Le Base Pro. And this is supposed to be a perfecting makeup primer that gives you a smoothing effect. So it's supposed to be similar to what we have going on in the T-zone, but we're going to apply it to the rest of the face where my skin is mainly more on the dry side. So I just did 3 pumps. It's definitely smoothing from what I could see. And it does reduce a little bit of shine, I would say. Where it's like, I don't want to stop touching my face because, you know, it feels so good on the face. So I feel like I won't really know how well these products perform until I start putting actual makeup on top of them. So I'm going to use this Hydro Grip Eye Primer, which I do believe I have used on my channel before. And I'm going to put it in this sort of area just based on the fact that I want to try it because it is a milk. It is a milk makeup product, and I know that as an eyeshadow, I am not the most fond of it. So we're going to see if we could find some other usage for it. I'm also going to put it in my under eye area because we did already apply eye cream. And it could be a good gripping agent. I'm going to use my ring finger and tap it around my mouth. Because also sometimes I find that when I do makeup, especially like concealing this area, it doesn't really stick, or like it will crack a little bit because that area just feels a little bit dry. So let's see if I guess these steps will do anything. That's pretty much the end of the skincare aspect. So now we're gonna start moving into
makeup and beauty tools.
a product that I was super excited to try is the Teint Idole Ultra Wear Care and Glow foundation. This is Lancome's newest foundation, and in the Lancôme foundation, I originally wear the shade 500 or 510. I forgot exactly which one, but the corresponding shade with those shades would be 515W. How does it look in comparison to my skin? I think it's gonna work nicely. But then again, when I did match this, I did match it in the summertime. Now that we're kind of in that transitional phase, it might be a touch darker than what I'm accustomed to. Before we try the foundation, I have a sponge that everybody and their mama has already tried. This was definitely like an April purchase. So this is the microfiber velvet sponge from Juno & Co. I'm just really late to the party. I got it in the original blue, and I already have a sponge, something similar to it, so I'm just gonna wet it and then kind of compare the two, because this one I got from Shop Miss A, this one is from Juno & Co. This is what this sponge looks like. Almost, I think that it is actually a little wider than this one, but it definitely feels much better now. And I didn't even realize that it had this flat bottom. It comes with a user guide. How many cosmetic things come with a user-friendly guide like this? Not many. So if this is not soft and squishy, I really don't know what is. But anyway, let's get into the foundation. I didn't even see this, but this also has in sunscreen, and it has SPF 27. Shake it well before you apply it. But I'm just putting a generous pump on my face, and then I'm going to just layer it down. So I would say it covers this entire area. It definitely has more coverage where I initially applied it compared to the bottom of my face. But because I have hyperpigmentation, I'm aware of the fact that I have to go a little extra mile to see my blemishes diminished. So rather than just constantly applying it to the face, I'm going to put 2 generous pumps on the back of my hand, kind of like smoothing out the product a little bit, and then apply it to my entire face just using my finger. I don't know why I decided to start with foundation first, but let's hope for the best with the eyebrows. I think compared to most golden foundations that I use, it does appear to be more red, but I find it to be equally flattering, so no complaints on my end. So far, I don't have any complaints about the products. I like it because I don't feel it on my face. It does have a fragrance to it. If you don't like fragrance, I don't think you're gonna like this foundation very much. I'm gonna be using the Even Better concealer from Clinique. I did use the color corrector when I purchased the purchase with a purchase, but I did not actually do the important part, which was to try this part of the product. So despite not liking to do that, I'm going to try it anyway. I am going to go ahead in my under eye area. I decided not to do anything super bright because I'm not feeling that today. Honestly, what would you call this? A pump, one dip of this definitely spreads really far. So I can say already that I'm a fan. I just want to try blending it out with the part. Like I told you guys, I don't like when certain parts of my makeup are dirty. I like preserving how it looks, but I've never tried it, so let's see what it gives. Well, it definitely blends it pretty well. It doesn't look super patchy. Unlike a beauty sponge, I don't feel like it spreads out as well as I would have thought. And I would definitely say I think it's better as a spot concealer versus your complete under eye. I think it would be good on the go, but I don't see myself using it very often. But I do like how it brightened up the center of my face, so that's a point for the concealer. I definitely just prefer a sponge, but who knows, my opinions could change. I may end up liking the brush at a point if I keep using it like on the go. So this concealer, I can say I'm very happy with it. So next I'm going to move on and apply some cream blush. This is the Smashbox Halo Sheer to Stay color tint, and this is for the cheeks and for the lips. So the shade that I got is called Terracotta because I feel like I was feeling the fall vibes for a while, but I definitely hauled this during the summer. It's supposed to be creamy, multitasking, and then it's also supposed to be sheer yet buildable, formulated with primer oil for complex comfort. So let's just kind of see what the color looks like. Definitely seems like a true terracotta shade, and it is pretty spreadable with this. However, I feel like it has some skips. Let's see though. Scrape because we don't waste. But I don't know, would I apply this directly to the face? I guess. When I have new makeup, one of the things I like to do is keep it looking new until I start using it as an everyday product, and then just change my mind altogether. Definitely feel like it disappeared a little bit, so I'm going to apply some more. I'm going to be a little bit more generous and just squeeze a chunk of it out and then just apply that one more time. Because I like when my blush can be seen. Maybe I mean it's showing up on camera, but it's not showing up over here for me. So, gotta do what I got to do. So crazy, I applied this cream blush. And I have like a powder blush as well here. And I don't even know if they're the same shade. At least I don't remember because I didn't open the other blush. But I don't even know if it's the same shade. But I guess we're going to have to find out and make it work. But so far, I think I'm loving everything I'm applying. This blush is not super out there, which I guess, you know, works for some people, but for me, I wish it was a little bit brighter. So this product is definitely nothing new. It's definitely something that has been out there. We're going to use the bronzer from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is their cream bronzer in the shade Chestnut. And you guys can tell I really love packaging because you really didn't even bother to break the seal. I just opened it from the bottom. Anyway, so this is what Chestnut looks like. It looks deep. I'm just going to go ahead in it and swatch it at the back of my hand. Yes. I feel like I know how this is going to look on my cheek. And all I can say is I am living. I wonder how Fenty's compares to this. And then we're going to use the same sponge and throw it up. As for the brush that I used to shape my face, this is the Luxie 510 foundation brush, which I'm pretty sure I got this during a BoxyCharm haul when I was going real crazy in 2020. If I know myself, that's definitely when I got this. I like how it blends. A win is a win. So anyway, going back to the liquid blush, I'm going to use this NYX brush. This is the NYX Professional Makeup Brush, and this is the number 8 brush. I go back with Terracotta, and I'm going to put it onto the brush. Or should I put it on my face? I'm going to do both. So I would say applying it to the brush definitely makes it appear to be more pigmented. But I feel like I'm not seeing the blush because the lights are directly reflecting on this side of my face as opposed to this side. But we move. I have 2 bronzers. The first one that I have is from One Size Beauty. And then the other one that I have is from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This fluffy Morphe brush. This is the R2. And I'm going to go into the shade Mahogany from Anastasia Beverly Hills. on just one side and just tap that into the cheek. Doesn't have too much fallout. I'm definitely not switching the brush. I'm just gonna flip it over and go into the One Size Beauty palette, which looks like this. The version I have today is the dark trio. So the shade Legendary, Press Record, and Back Row. So I'm gonna use the shade Press Record. That seems to be, well, maybe not. Legendary is a little closer to the color, so I'm gonna try to match it on the other side of this R2 brush from Morphe. But instantly it has more pigment. So definitely with this you would have to dust the brush off because she is very much all that I could have imagined and more. Definitely a difference in how the two of them appear, but I can see myself using these interchangeably. Continuing, I guess, on my vent session that I was trying to have when I started, I would have a video idea. I would make a whole calendar of what I plan to post for the month because that's kind of how I was trained to do social media. However, I realized if I missed the dates of one video, no other video would happen because in my spirit I would not feel like I could continue because I like when things have a certain order because I'm accustomed to Instagram as a platform where on Instagram, you know, you go for a certain aesthetic, and I try to bring what I bring to Instagram to my other platforms, and pretty much all together just made me super exhausted. So I no longer have that feeling of, you know, things need to happen in a certain way. Like if I miss a deadline, it is okay to pick up where I left off, as well as it's okay to move right along and just do the next thing. Since I now have a better understanding of what it is I want to do in social media, I feel like it's a lot less intimidating. I'm learning how to just be forgiving. I have this Estee Lauder Pure Color Envy Sculpting Blush, and this one is in the shade 430 Rose Exposed. So it's this shade right here, which I guess kind of goes in line with the Terracotta shade that I had. We're gonna just use this Morphe M104 brush, and I'm just going to tap into the shade and apply it to my cheek. In the end, I think that this is all working out because it does pull the fall look together, but yeah, I hate that sometimes when I do my makeup my nose runs even when I'm not applying pressure to that area. Try the setting powder first, and this one is from Anastasia Beverly Hills in the shade Deep Peach. And then after that, I'm going to bake my face using the Absolute New York banana powder. I'm going to use a different sponge. This is the Shop Miss A sponge, and let's get into Deep Peach. I didn't expect so much to come out. Definitely be very careful. I'm going to tap off the excess and scrape the excess off and apply this under my eye area. I just feel like the sponge is not picking up the product in the way that I'm accustomed to. So I'm actually about to grab this old and slightly dirty Laura Mercier puff, and I'm going to apply this to my face and see if I get a better result. And because I'm not trying to bake with this, I'm just going to end up pressing it into my skin. So seems to be pressing in really nicely without leaving a cast, I think. I'm going to use this spray, which is the Prolonged Setting Spray from Absolute New York. Okay, so I'm going to give it a good shake. So it reminds me of bay rum, if you guys know what that is. And because it's a nice and fine mist, I think I'm just going to use it as a finishing spray. But I mean, who knows, it could be a really good setting spray. So just gonna leave my face alone, and now I'm gonna move on to my eyes. This is a super fine brow detailer from Too Faced, and I got it in the shade Dark Brown. I can't imagine having deep eyebrows with brown hair. I just think it looks a little off, but anyway, we move. And because my brows are already groomed, I really don't have to do too much with this pencil. It just creates, I think, perfect hair-like strokes. I saw that they have this brush on hair fluffy brow gel, which this one is in the shade dark brown as well. So this is not really something that I've tried too much of, so I don't know how this is going to work. It definitely is making my brow hairs darker, and probably should have used a lighter shade than this, but I don't think it's a big deal. I don't usually do 2 steps for my brows, but this is cute. I'm gonna go in with the Absolute New York product, which is the baking powder in the shade Banana. Ooh, it comes with its own pressed sponge. So this one, definitely you have to, like, I guess give it a good shake as well to really let powder come out, but not nearly as much as the ABH. And I think I'm just gonna keep it for my under eye, because I don't really bake other parts of my face besides my under eye and my nose. So we will stick to that. Now we can peep into the shadow. This is the Urban Decay Naked Robin Essenberg palette, and this is, I believe, their Halloween collection. So this is what the shades of the palette are looking like, and I don't usually swatch a lot of eyeshadows here, but I think because these are so beautiful that I'm going to honor and put some swatches out there. So the names of the shades are Moon Sand, Solar Storm, Pulsar, Ion, could be wrong, Mango Sun, Exoplanet, Foxfire, Holidays, Home Planet, Ice Crater, Alien Base, Space Pod. So I'm just going to swatch the shades that speak the most to me, and probably will be the shades that I'll be using in today's video. So the very first shade that speaks to me is Ion or Eon. So it's basically like a champagne gold sort of shade, and look at that. I'm excited and I'm impressed, and I can't wait to put this on my eyes. The next shade that speaks to me is called Foxfire. It is, I would say this is like a mauve-ish brown. So let's see how it swatches on my skin. As expected, it shows up more mauve, but in the palette it looks very brown. The next shade I'm going to swatch, I'm torn between Ice Crater and Alien Babe. I said base before, but it's definitely Alien Babe. I'm gonna use that one because look at this. Do you see how it shows purple and still blue? I think it just depends on how you're looking at it, but that is so gorgeous. And more importantly, it's pigmented. I believe that this one is more like a glitter than a shimmer, but I do like that it has duochrome looks to it. And then the last shade that I will swatch for this evening is going to be Space Pod, which is more like a blue-green sort of reflex. I'm not as excited as that as I thought I would have been, but this shade I think will be the main attraction for today's look. So we'll see what happens. If you'd like to see some more swatches, let me know and I'll post them over on TikTok or even post it as a YouTube short. For my I think I'm just gonna end up putting the shade Moon Sand on top area. I'm gonna put the shade Solar fact, this is my first naked palette, like ever. So the shade that I'm using is Foxfire, which is a shade that I swatched, and I'm just tapping it using this brush. I wonder what this look is gonna turn out to be. So I'm actually gonna retire this brush because I have an entire brush collection. from Real Techniques. These are the Everyday Eye Essential brushes. Now personally, I do not use this many eye brushes on a daily basis, so that's very interesting for them to call it that. But I guess it depends if your everyday eye is more glam or if it's more subdued. I realized that there are no deeper colors than this one, so the area of opportunity that I see here would be that this shade is not necessarily a wearable palette, but we're trying to do something for the fall, so I was hoping to have like a deeper color just for the outer part of my eye, but don't worry, we're gonna figure it out. I'm gonna take this brush, the shading brush, and I'm just gonna pick it up. It actually kind of mirrors a little bit this brush here and this brush, like it's a hybrid of both, I would say. And I'm just gonna close out the outer corner of my eye. First, like in a tapping motion and then in a swiping motion. The next brush that I'm going to pull from this is gonna be a shorter brush, which is called the smudge brush, and I'm gonna pick up the shade Alien Babe. It's not dark enough, so I'm actually gonna use the shade Space Pod, and then I'm just going to like basically overlap it. That way my eyelid looks fully blue. So this is the Stay All Day Smudge Stick Waterproof Eyeliner from Stila, and the two shades I have are both green, but one is called Jade. The other one is called Tiger's Eye. What I'm going to do is use Jade as like a liner. We made it work, and quite honestly, that's all that matters. So I'm going to use the shade Space Food, and I'm just going to go over the liner. So I'm going to use Tiger's Eye just to line my bottom. I'm going to use this Monsieur Big waterproof mascara because it kind of matches. I know I've tried the original. This would have been perfect for summer, I'm sure, because I've been using the Benefit Bad Gal Bang waterproof. The only benefit that I see to waterproof mascaras is the fact that it makes my very crazy lashes look like they're all going in a sort of uniform direction. I kind of like it. I think we're snapping. We're gonna go ahead, another sponge. Okay, but we gotta give it up to Lancôme. Maybe because they're like a prestige brand, but like they kind of snap with this. Cause I don't like when my makeup is dirty. Like, I'm not saying it doesn't get. Oh, it's not even the only one. Wow. Okay. Lancôme kind of snapped. So it comes with their signature rose. The shade that I have of their dual finish powder, which is a multitasking powder and foundation all in one, is 510 Suede Cool. But we're gonna try it. And I just want y'all to know, ever since I hauled this brush from Sephora, I've been waiting for the perfect moment to wear it, use it. And I don't think there's a more perfect time than now. But what I will say about this powder, it has a scent. So I'm guessing Lancôme is just a scented brand, because this is not the first product we've used from Lancôme today that's had a scent. Like, it definitely smells like a sweet body powder. And just like that, I think I've found my everyday powder. And by the way, the Sephora brush is amazing. For the lips, this one is from Tarte, and it's the matte tan/brown eyeliner. It's a waterproof shadow and liner. So it's super dark. I don't think I was her head for that. It's not even dark brown. This is just deep. So for lipstick, I got a million options. I'm gonna see what my Live Glam Lippy Club sets are giving. So we're gonna see what Decadent looks like on the lips. I'm just gonna go over and then use Indulge in the center. I actually think I'm gonna put Indulge on more of my lip because I actually prefer this color. I definitely should have swatched them first, but let's just say I kind of forgot. I'm gonna just put the shade Eon on my cheek. And the tip of my nose. I'm really confused as to why my nose is still running though. That part gets me. The spray that I have for today to finish off my makeup, because I definitely already used one earlier, is the Laura Mercier Translucent Pure Setting Spray. So definitely I do not like this sprayer because why is it spraying like that? But I guess I gotta hold it from a distance. Well, it definitely covers a lot. Anyway, I'm gonna use the clear gloss from Anastasia Beverly Hills, which looks just like this. And of course, given that I'm wearing this deep lipstick, I'm definitely not putting it directly on my lips. So I'm just going to scoop it on the back of my hand, maybe 2 or 3 times, depending on how much it's able to give me in one go. I think we're going to do 2 for now. And to apply this, I'm going to be using this BoxyCharm brush, which I think it was limited edition, so sorry about that. And I'm just going to apply it mainly on the center of my lips because that's where I like the attention. And thankfully it's not super sticky, so that's a plus. Now that I've tried everything, let's talk about some of the products that were highlights for me, and let's kind of, you know, just get it going. Let's just recap most of what we tried. The palette.
So while I was really happy with this palette, my only area of opportunity would be that I wish it had had deeper shades. Like a black would have done really nicely, even a deeper brown. But ending it with the deepest color being blue just did not do it for me.
As far as the One Size Beauty, we have a lot of pigment going on, so no disappointment there. The Anastasia, I just feel like in comparison to this, it's not as deep, but that does not mean that it's not a good product, because I do still feel like hair is really nice and sculpted in a way that I can definitely like stand behind and appreciate. Juno and Co sponge definitely did what needed to be done. I do overall love how my face turned out. I am finding though that with this, my face does feel a little sticky, like you can see how it settled, whereas when I used this one, it definitely had a better overall finish. So I'm probably gonna stick to this more and probably decrease my use of this because I really don't like how it sprays. I do love me a good glossy lip, so shout out to ABH for this gloss. Like, good, really good. And none of the brushes that I used I was disappointed by. Maybe this one, I guess, because I don't know, it's more like a painter kind of brush, so maybe I'll just repurpose it and see if I prefer it for that versus what I did use it for. And this one really surprised me, this lip liner. I didn't expect it to be as deep as it was. I definitely did not swatch it before buying it, so that was really on me for forgetting. The Advanced Night Repair was really nice. The sunscreens, I did give my original opinion about them. I think I want to try them separately and see which one I actually prefer. I hope you guys valued my opinions. And if it prompted you to get anything, be sure to let me know down in the comment section.